fact that 89% of healthcare leaders fail in scaling their AI pilots. And so why is that? What do they need to do differently? And who really is the decision maker?
So thank you, Tim. It's very, very pertinent, and it's one of the things that we are actually working on right now. When you're focusing on doing AI because it's cool, you tend to do a very small pilot without kind of thinking through how that pilot is going to scale. If you start off with what is a problem you're trying to address, sometimes technology is not the solution. It's the existing workflow that could be a problem. So if you can think of looking at where in your current workflow the problem exists and how it is that technology or AI, for that matter, can come in to help, you have a much better use case for why you should be trying out something. Far more important is it's very easy, especially with the advent of Claude and all the other large language models that you have, for citizen developers to try something quick, right? It's going to work in their particular space. They're not thinking about the larger scale organization of how things are going to evolve and work for them. If you spend a bit of time to canvas across the organization as to where the pain points are, understand if it is about a workflow issue or if it's truly a technology problem, and find a good marriage between the two, then you start thinking about what is your current process, wherein can technology intervene to help build out a business case, not just in terms of the investment that has to be made, but in terms of cost savings to be had, because in many instances, you're probably going to third parties to help you do your job today. If you can replace those third parties with technology to help your employees become even more effective and efficient, therein lies the answer to kind of like allowing AI to scale and truly impact the organization. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg. It sounds like you have a...
If I could add to
Sure.
that, one of the things, and this is not just AI based, this is any technology, and I found this I was working for about 3 years with a number of neurotechnologies that were integrating AI into the platform. And they said, make an introduction to the neuro department, or make an introduction to the clinical department, or talk to the IT department. It's like, who am I supposed to be making introductions to?
Yeah.
We're all laughing. The problem and opportunity at the same time is, number one, if you want to get into one of the large top 10, because a lot of the clients or my colleagues will say, get me into the top 10. I'm like, okay, with 250,000 other companies trying to get into the top 10. All right, let me get into the top 20 or 30 or 40. Again, everybody's trying to get in there. So anybody trying to get a pharma pilot, a device pilot, an AI pilot, know that the higher bar, we were talking about higher bars being set,
Yep.
the higher bar for the institution you want to get into, the more number of people are in there, is number one. Number two is UCLA, I think they've got the number one number of people that have to be part of the approval board. It's something like 30. There are 30 different departments and divisions to get in to do any kind of pilot at UCLA. I think that's when we set a bar, that is the wrong bar to kind of set, but be aware, do a little bit of due diligence. If you're going to go into a place, how many people do you have to influence and be part of? There's more I can unravel there. I don't want to take too much of the forum.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tala Fakhoury, Chief AI Officer and Regulatory Officer at Parexel, she is going to be our speaker at October 16th here, and she mentioned a very real-world case study at the Financial Times Summit, which we all reviewed, where the subject matter experts, the scientists, have identified a need for a particular analytics AI solution. But the IT department then says, no, we can handle it ourselves, right? We don't need that. Time is wasted. The result is not of the highest quality, okay? And so in this case, it's the IT department that's the decision maker, the pilot. Can we address that question of how do we really ensure that the right people make the decisions about innovation, and where do they give up or where do they continue to iterate? Tina, I know you have some thoughts about this discussion.
And I think when you look at different companies, it depends on the size of the company, first of all. And you can start in a smaller company, you've got your medical affairs chief medical officer, and they're the person building out the department that has the most vested interest in trying to create efficiency, predictability, and improved outcomes within, not only internally within the work that the teams are doing, educating clinicians, and how do we make impact for identifying patients, increasing diagnosis rates. So it's the individuals inside the company that have a vested interest in measuring outcomes, I think, that are the ones to go to in terms of who would be making the decisions, and the ones with the budget. The budget matters too, so you got to kind of follow the money and pitch these AI technologies and really show them the value of what these different companies can do.
But again, if I can build on that,
Sure,
right? So I think Tim's question was about the internal IT teams versus this. You're 100% right in terms of going to the people who have the budget, who have the problem to solve. At that point of time, it becomes one where internal IT teams are there to protect the company. Small companies will come and go, and if you don't truly understand their technologies, their platform, you could set your company up for failure. So that is the main role of the IT company. And more, we are noticing that there are tech companies that are getting into pharma, and pharma companies are kind of like making sure their internal IT is the protector of the thing. So what I would say in this particular instance is, if you are going to a business person who can actually go in and make the pitch for why this is important, I think they truly have to sell the business case and the value to the IT teams, not just at your business partner level, but at a higher level, in order to truly bring them on. And pitch it more as a longer term play. Don't pitch it as another pilot, because then you have the case of many thousands of pilots that have failed. It has to be the longer term vision of what it is going to add in terms of business value to you, and if you're pharma, especially to the patient at the end of the day.
That's right.
Keep that patient as a North Star, as Chris was talking about earlier, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, yeah, so there are various different questions that I have as a follow-up, but we can take them to the Q&A, because from my experience, I think the executives often do not get into the details of how they perform. They just want something that doesn't have AI, and then they just leave it there at a surface level, and sometimes the results also speak.